So it's Bianca, and I'm here to talk about my sustainable style journey. Sorry, I'm a bit sick, but let's do this. Well, I'm not sure at what point, I started my interest in fashion. I just remember, my mom really loved to dress me up as a kid. Um, it was super nice. She dressed me up in all these fancy, girly clothes, and I think that was what also affected my style, probably, because I've always been more on the girlier side. But for myself, I remember being in grade 5, and then I'd have this busmate who was also interested in fashion. And I think that was the time when I was like, okay, I want to be a fashion designer when I grow up. And we made this clear book. Oh my gosh, clear books. And then every page would have a drawing of a gown, and then she was better at drawing than me because she was older. So I remember hers being so meticulous, and I was just yes, churning out as many designs as I can, because I think my goal was by the end of the school year I should have 100 wedding dresses to have drawn. I think I was able to do that. It's sad, but I don't know where it is anymore. But anyway, so I think that was where I started to have a more conscious way of picking out my clothes. Of course, most of it was still being bought by my mom. And a fun note, very fun note, is that basically all my life I had a uniform, from even up to college. So it was really just years of trying to find any occasion to wear something that wasn't my uniform. And then so at that time, I remember black and emo was very in, and my mom was like, no, you're too young for that. So everyone wanted all these skull wallets and black t-shirts, and my mom was like, can't wear black. I was like, okay. So I think that's also what affected my style generally, because now I love color, and I know that a lot of people are into neutrals, and that it's what's more known in the minimalist wardrobe, but I'm a colorful gal. So at that time, I think most of my clothes were from the department store, because it would be a treat for Christmas would be coming, and then you'd have these cute Christmas outfits, and we usually bought it from department stores or 168, because my families were cheap. So yeah, I was an avid visitor of 168. That's also where I bought all my Christmas gifts until I was high school, maybe even college, I'm not sure. So then moving on to high school, you got a bit more say in what you wanted to wear. So then I started to be more adventurous, but at the same time I was also quite shy, because generally I was the shy girl, and so I was scared. I was very self-conscious, my self-esteem was very low, so I was always scared of what people were gonna think. So even if I had all these crazy things that I wanted to wear, I didn't do it because I was scared of getting judged. So I was just very trend based, probably, but in a safer tone. I think that was just my goal, to just fit in. And at that point, most of my clothes were from 168. Yeah, my friends and I, when there was an upcoming school fair, which means we could wear casual, a week before, because it's usually in January, so you still have your Christmas money. We'd go to 168, and then yeah, that's where we'd buy, and it was fun. And I think that was also where I really started to love shopping, and also where I was really thinking about making the most out of my budget and still making a great look. Of course, at that time there wasn't much knowledge about sustainability, so I was really not, I didn't think about that at all, especially at that age. I think my main goal was just to look cute. And then college. Oh, well, I love college because it was where I sort of found myself, you know? It was like, oh my gosh, it's a new beginning. I can be whoever I want to be, you know, that type of thing. And I think I really made the most out of that because I didn't know anyone and, you know, no one knew me. So I was like, yay, I finally have a chance to discover who I really am and what I really liked. So that was fun. So if you're off to college, you know, yeah, go girl. It was also where I finally got to experiment with all the clothes that I wanted to try. At that time, you know, of course you're on a college budget. All of my money went to shopping. Like I would be like, no, I don't need to eat at that fancy restaurant with you guys. No, I'm fine. But it's really because, yeah, there's a sale coming and I'd rather spend it on that. So that was where my fast fashion, like probably addiction came in. I was on all like the lists where they email you when there's a sale. So I was always like a bargain hunter, and people would always say, oh, I like your shoes. I'm like, yeah, I got them for just 800, and they would be like nice boots. And yeah, I was very proud of my shopping savings. I didn't think about the consequences. And I think that was how it was until I was like in second year. But also, I started to discover thrifting. I was already doing it before, but there wasn't any near our house like it does now. So before, I would only be able to do it when I went to the province. In Iloilo, their ukay, well, the one we go to, is in the market, and it's really, really ukay. Like, you have to dig through, so it's super fun because, you know, it's like you really feel like you found a treasure out of like this huge dump. And when we go to Baguio, the night market, but that was really the extent of it. Like, I didn't go normally, but then of course in Manila there was a lot more choices, so this was also when I started to do it, and well, more frequently. And that's also where I started to learn like the tips, like the not shopping in the new arrivals and just being patient and looking through. And of course at that point there was no sustainability mindset. It was just I'm a broke college student who just wants to look cute. That was the mindset. And then I had to do my thesis. So it was supposed to be just a center for fashion because, you know, that's what I wanted to do. Because I studied architecture, that's why it has to be a building. And then my advisor was like, why not make it more socially relevant? So he didn't like that idea so much. I was like, I was so set on that idea. But I was like, okay, fine, I'll look into sustainable fashion. But, you know, I don't know much about it. And yeah, it's like, I didn't know its importance. I was like, okay, I'll do my research. And if I'm still not interested, like, I'll just try to find another topic. And then, so I did my research and I watched A True Cost, which if you haven't watched it, you must. It's on Netflix and it's life-changing. And yeah, that was what happened. I watched it and my life changed, and it was like, it's like, okay, my entire shopping addiction has to stop, or if I can't do it like on the get-go, I need to find a more sustainable way to do it, because the way the planet is doing, the way the people making these garments are doing, it's just not good for me to keep doing what I was doing before. So then I started with just cutting out fast fashion unless there was something I really needed from there, and focused more on local brands. And as usual, you know, I just thrifted most of my clothes, so that was the easier part. Yeah, it was easier for me, I think, compared to some people who didn't thrift from the very start, because it probably would have been harder to create that shift. But for me, there was a much easier way because I was already thrifting. So yeah, it's also when I started to become more active in the sustainable fashion industry. I did my research and I saw that Fashion Revolution was the NGO that works within this industry. And I was so shocked that they actually had a Philippine branch because I never heard about them. So I tapped into them, and then I had to interview them for my thesis, and I was so amazed at what they did that I became a volunteer. And for the past 2 years, I was actually, like right now, for the past 2 years, I was their social media manager. And it's been fun, and I hope that if you're interested, you should really become a volunteer, because it's such an important movement that I think we can all become a part of. I mean, after graduating, I just really became an advocate for it. That's where I gave talks about finding your style and still being chic despite and sustainable, because there's this mindset that it's all very like neutral and minimalist, and if that's what you like, then that's fine. But also, if you like to be more out there, it's also possible. So that's also what I've been talking about, and just trying to find affordable ways, because I know a lot of sustainable brands are expensive, but they are good investments. But if you don't have the budget yet, there are so many other options, and I'll be doing a video about that soon for sure as well. Right now, I'm living my best sustainable life. There's still I don't even know when I last shopped at a fast fashion store, so I'm very proud of that. Basically, like 80% of my clothes are thrifted, and now I'm trying to invest in sustainable brands because I know they're the ones who are doing the good in the world, and that a lot of workers are being paid really fairly and being treated really well to create their garments. So I think that's something you really need to keep in mind, and that yes, if you're thinking of making the switch, do your research, watch the true cost, join Fashion Revolution. Yes, and I hope that this inspired you to be more sustainable, or at least think about that in your own way, just creating a more sustainable shopping option, or just even just the small steps, even just being like, okay, I'm not gonna buy anything this week, or I'm not gonna buy anything that I don't need for a month. That's already like a really big step, and it's just a process. And I think if we all do our best, then the planet and the people would be very thankful for it. So yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. I think it was quite a long video, but I hope it made sense. And yeah, but I subscribe if you want more sustainable fashion content. Hit the like button if you liked it, and I'll see you guys in my next video, which will probably be what I wore in a week, which is of course mostly, once again, thrifted. So see you guys then. Bye.